Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brian, and I am here with my monthly review, audio review, not video. Well, it is going to be put on my YT channel and on the YT site. But anyway, I'm here with my review of Sonic the Hedgehog issue 197. Now, I know this might sound a little ridiculous to some of you, but you've probably done this as well. But even though I got my issue today slash yesterday, because right now it's 12:37 in the morning, early Saturday morning. Basically, it's 12:37 even in the morning. 37 minutes, 35 minutes after midnight. I got this on basically today slash yesterday, which was Friday. Anyway, getting into what I'm saying, and is that you've probably already, like me, you've probably already read this issue before you got it. In other words, you probably saw it here on the YT or on some other video sites or even some certain picture or photo sites. You've probably already read the comic. And, well, I have to say personally, I do agree with what some of the people have said on certain forums and on these video sites and here on the YT and on certain Sonic sites. I have to say it definitely answered a lot of good questions. Um, for example, we started out with the preview pages that we saw and everything. And we always wondered, I'm pretty sure when we first heard about the previews about the fact that Sally was going on trial, we wondered what the hell was going on. Why is she going on trial? And we kind of had our suspicions, and then we find out, as far as I'm concerned, as from what I've read, it sounds like it was more Hamlin's idea here to put this trial together than I think anybody else's. Maybe Rosemary had a little bit of help in that, but then again, I think it was mostly all Hamlin. And basically, to me, I think Hamlin just, was just trying to find a way. I guess to me, the Hamlin character basically had a lot of bitterness in him, and I think he just took it upon himself to say, hey, you know, you did something you shouldn't have done, and this is the consequences. So basically, to me, I think what Ian did by writing the story is he made Hamlin sort of into a bitter character, basically someone that's upset at the fact that, as we find out later on, as we know, if you've read the comic book for a long time, like I have, and have read the spin-offs, like say the Princess Sally miniseries, you might remember that Sally, as she mentions here, along with Hamlin, that she helped train him along with Penelope and Dylan, and I can't think of the other two that she trained as well. And like I said, I think Rosemary had a little bit of say in this as well. Had a little bit of wanting to get this trial going as well, because I believe, and I've mentioned this on the Mobius forum, that perhaps it was the motherly instincts in her that probably wanted to get this trial going, because maybe she didn't want to have her son put in danger. Although that's not mentioned in this issue, I think that's exactly why maybe her character was put into this situation. Now, now I do have to agree that Ian did a terrific job by basically having Hamlin kind of counteract Sally with everything Sally was trying to explain. Like, Sally's trying to tell Hamlin and the council, hey, I created the Pacific Sonic's punishment and sent him on a mission. In other words, she's trying to tell Hamlin and the council that, hey, it was the council's decision to allow me to come up with the idea in Pacifics for Sonic's punishment, and my idea was to send him to Mobius to probably counteract what the Suppression Squad was doing on their planet. And it now, she does mention in the first few pages that she did this under her authority as a field leader. Now, as I mentioned, Ian did a great job by having Hamlin's character counteract her by saying, yes, I agree, you did it by a field leader authority, but you didn't do it as your authority as a princess. And that basically without using your authority as a princess, you have no power outside of that. And Sally, as we read on, she says, "Yeah, well, since my brother's the king, of course I don't." And then, and again, I give Ian a lot of credit by doing this counteraction with Hamlin, where he just comes straight to the point and tells Sally, "Hey," I'm just going to use a few lines here, where he basically tells Sally, "So let me get this straight. You made your decision as a field leader of the Freedom Fighters, a group that answers directly to the Council of Acorns." So basically what he's saying is that Sally has just admitted to Hamlin and the council that yes, the council did give her authority, and we're going to find that out. We found that out a few pages later, to do what she had to do, but didn't give her full authority as a field leader to allow Sonic or the Freedom Fighters to go into Mobius. That basically he's saying she went against direct orders. Something that Sonic would probably do, right? Maybe Sonic's rubbing off on her. I don't know. Now the whole thing with the No Zone, at least we now know exactly where a criminal like Scourge goes when they get arrested. They go to the No Zone, and apparently we find out as well that there's more than just one Zone cop, and besides which Sonic is, there's more Zone cops. There's a Zone cop version of SBO, there's a Zone cop version of Vector, and who knows who else. And basically overall, I thought the situation in No Zone was pretty good. I like the idea how Ian adds in the aspects that the reason the No Zone or the Zone Cop's homeworld is in ruins is because of Eggman Naga, who unfortunately right now, I guess due to certain reasons, cannot officially appear in this comic book, but I think appears in Sonic Universe. Now, basically, Sonic Universe, and I'll talk about a little bit more about that later. Now we go back to the situation with Sally and the council, to where Sally basically has to explain, like I mentioned earlier, that the reason she sent Sonic on a mission was because it was the council's decision to punish Sonic, and that most of that punishment was up to her, so that anything she had told Sonic to do, in a way, was already approved by the council. Now Hamlin tries to counteract this by saying we would never approve of anything that undermined our own authority. And Sally has to point out that then why the two counselors, that being Sir Charles and Rotor, Sir Charles being Uncle Chuck, why did they help her build the star post? And again, like I said, Ian does a great job here with the situation with Hamlin by having him counteract by saying those star posts are meant to go to the special zone in which there was an ongoing mission, and that the counselors that helped her fall under her command as field leader, and that basically she's just trying to justify her actions, her rogue actions. Now Sally basically has to tell Hamlin with her own counteract at this that, hey, there was no larger invasion planned and by us. We were not planning to invade the Mobius world. That instead there was an opportunity that presented itself, and they acted, and by doing so, by seizing this opportunity, Freedom HQ is now theirs again. The Suppression Squad is back on their world, back on their world now, and they can once again focus on the task at hand. Now Hamlin basically, again, out of his bitterness and anger at the fact that even though he was trained by Sally, Allie, and everything, comes out and says, hey, those ends don't justify the means. If you accept, basically he's saying, hey, if we accept what you just said, then that means you could do whatever you want in the name of the greater good, and we become redundant. In other words, Hamlin is basically telling her already, although we don't find that out until later on, that, hey, you keep doing what you do. If you keep doing this, then we, the council, will become forgotten, just like I was, along with Dylan and Penelope and all the other substitute freedom fighters that you trained. Now, as Sally admits that she's guilty, goes like basically, fine, I'm guilty, and Hamlin wants to kind of move forward. She finally does remind the council of this, that if this is the case, if you do find me guilty, if you want to put me in jail, if you want to put me on probation, know this: I will not act under any or I will not act. I will not give any order, even in even in a time of battle. I will not do anything unless I get direct approval of the council. Now she goes on to say, and I will mention this in part 2.